33 degrees north, 33 degrees east. This is the exact coordinate where the heaven-earth boundary was shattered. To the casual hiker, Mount Hermon is the highest point in the Golan Heights. But to the architects of the ancient world, it was the portal of the oath. It is the place where 200 high-ranking celestial entities, known as the Watchers, descended into our physical reality, not to serve, but to colonize. The Book of Enoch tells us they swore a mutual oath upon this summit to commit a crime that would change the human genome forever. But why here? Why Mount Hermon? Modern researchers are discovering that this mountain isn't just a pile of limestone. It's a geological and electromagnetic anomaly, a natural Stargate that connects our three-dimensional realm to the higher dimensions of the abyss. Today, the summit of Mount Hermon is occupied by the most sensitive United Nations observation post in the world. What are they truly watching? Are they monitoring regional borders? Or are they waiting for the portal to reopen? Welcome back to the Forbidden Bible. Today, we are breaking the seal on the darkest secret of the Golan Heights. We are investigating the Stargate of the Watchers. The climb begins now. In the world of the occult and the elite, numbers are never accidental. Mount Hermon sits exactly at the 33rd degree of latitude and longitude. To the Freemasons and the secret societies of the West, the number 33 represents the highest level of illumination. But thousands of years before the first lodge was built, this coordinate was already marked as the landing zone of the fallen. According to the Book of Enoch, Semyaza and his 199 subordinates descended upon Hermon because it was a sacred space, a thin place where the veil between worlds is translucent. In Hebrew, the name Hermon comes from the word cherem, meaning forbidden or devoted to destruction. It was a mountain under a curse before history even began. Image: an overlay of the 33rd parallel crossing Mount Hermon with ancient symbols of the fallen appearing at the intersection. But the secret of Hermon isn't just in the numbers, it's in the geography. The mountain has 3 distinct peaks. In ancient Canaanite mythology, these were the thrones of the gods. When the Watchers arrived, they didn't just walk onto the mountain, they manifested through it. This was a biological Stargate. By entering our realm through Hermon, they were able to assume physical form, allowing them to interact with and eventually corrupt the daughters of men. The Vatican and mainstream archaeology often dismiss these claims, yet they cannot explain the massive megalithic ruins found at the summit, known as Khazar Antar. This is the highest temple in the ancient world. It faces the rising sun, and its stones are of such massive scale that no local tribe could have moved them. This wasn't a place for human worship. It was a diplomatic outpost between the sons of God and the kings of the earth. The Watchers chose Hermon because it provided the energy required for interdimensional transition. Like a lightning rod for the supernatural, the mountain acted as a bridge. They brought with them forbidden technologies, the secrets of the stars, the art of war, and the manipulation of DNA. Every occult system on the planet, from the Egyptian mysteries to the modern Silicon Valley techno-elites, can trace their lineage back to the knowledge that leaked out of the Mount Hermon Stargate. They didn't just bring sin, they brought an alien intelligence that still dominates our world today. If Mount Hermon's Stargate is a relic of the past, why is it the most militarized mountain on Earth today? At the very peak of Hermon, at an altitude of over 9,000 feet, sits Hotel Hermon, the highest United Nations base in the world. It is manned by UNDOF, a specialized force that has occupied the summit since 1974. Officially, they are there to monitor the buffer zone between Israel and Syria. But why the peak? Why the exact spot where the Watchers descended? There are reports from military personnel of strange atmospheric phenomena around the summit. Lights that defy the laws of physics, sudden temperature drops, and electronic equipment failures that mirror the Hutchinson effect. Many believe the UN isn't just monitoring a border. They are monitoring a stable wormhole. In the Book of Revelation, we are told that the bottomless pit will be opened. If Mount Hermon was the entry point for the first descent, it is logically the exit point for the return. The elite are not stupid. They know that the ancient ones are not dead. They are simply on the other side of the frequency. The high-tech sensors on Mount Hermon are tuned to detect the specific electromagnetic signature of a celestial incursion. This is the Great Erasure in action. The public is told about geopolitical conflict, while the secret reality is a Stargate defense. The Watchers promised to return, and the global powers have taken them at their word. They have built their fortresses on the ruins of the giants, waiting for the sky to tear open once again. They are watching the mountain, because the mountain is the key to the end of the world. As we enter the final age, the focus has shifted from monitoring the gate to actively trying to reopen it. The technology of the Watchers, once hidden in the caves of Hermon, is now being replicated in our labs. From CERN's Large Hadron Collider to the D-Wave quantum computers, the goal is the same: to pierce the veil. The ritual of return is no longer done with goat's blood on a stone altar. It is done with particle acceleration and digital incantations. Researchers have noted that the CERN logo itself looks like 3 interconnected sixes, the number of man. But more interestingly, the facility is built on the site of an ancient temple to Apollyon. Are we trying to reach the Watchers, or are we inviting them back? Mount Hermon remains the master key. It is the anchor point for the global grid. When the Antichrist, the seed of the serpent, is finally revealed, many believe he will manifest at this very location. He will claim the throne of Hermon as his own, proving his lineage to the original 200 who descended there. The afterword of Genesis 6 is reaching its climax. The Stargate of the Watchers is huming with energy. The world is being prepared for a first contact that is actually a re-entry. They aren't coming from a distant galaxy. They are coming from the other side of the Mount Hermon veil. The secret is out. The gate is active, and the Watchers are standing on the threshold. If the secret of Mount Hermon is merely a legend of ancient shepherds and dusty scrolls, why is it one of the most heavily guarded and militarized places on the planet today? At the very highest peak of Hermon, at an altitude of over 9,000 feet, sits Hotel Hermon, the highest United Nations base in the world. Image: satellite footage zooming into the UN installations on Mount Hermon's summit, surrounded by snow and high-tech antennas. Officially, the UNDOF, United Nations Disengagement Observer Force, is there to monitor the buffer zone between Israel and Syria. But ask yourself, why the summit? Why exactly the spot where, according to the Book of Enoch, the 200 watchers descended and made their dark pact? There are persistent reports from military personnel and independent researchers of anomalous atmospheric phenomena at the summit. Lights that defy physics, electromagnetic energy spikes that fry electronic equipment, and optical distortions suggesting the veil between dimensions at that coordinate is dangerously thin. Many believe the UN is not just there to watch land borders, but to monitor a stable Stargate. Image: visual comparison between particle accelerator diagrams and the layout of the ancient Khazar-Antar ruins at the summit. In the Forbidden Bible, we read in the Book of Revelation about the opening of the bottomless pit. If Mount Hermon was the entry point for the first descent, it is logically the exit point for the return. The global elite are not ignorant. They know that the ancient ones are not dead. They are simply on the other side of the frequency, awaiting the portal's opening. The high-tech sensors installed on Hermon are tuned to detect the energy signature of a celestial incursion. This is the great omission in plain sight. The public is fed news about geopolitical conflict, while the hidden reality is a Stargate defense. The Watchers promise to return, and world powers have taken them at their word. They built their fortresses upon the ruins of giants, waiting for the sky to tear open once again. They watch the mountain because the mountain is the key to the end of the world. It is no coincidence that Mount Hermon is at the 33rd coordinate. In Freemasonry and secret societies, 33 is the highest degree of illumination. They are guarding the place where forbidden light first touched the earth. The question remains: when the portal opens, will the UN force be there to protect us, or to welcome back their ancient masters? If Mount Hermon was the prototype of the original Stargate, modern technology is the desperate attempt to replicate that frequency. For the scientific and occult elite, the mountain is not just a monument to the past, but a map for the future. The dark secret is that the ritual of return is no longer performed only with blood and incense on stone altars. It is being executed now through particle colliders and quantum computing. Image: a visual overlay between the summit of Mount Hermon and the CERN magnetic ring, showing geometric and energetic similarities. Consider CERN in Switzerland, built on the site where ancient Romans erected a temple to Apollyon, the destroyer. CERN's logo contains 3 interlocking sixes. But what is truly disturbing is the stated goal: to open doors to other dimensions. From the perspective of the Forbidden Bible, we are not just looking for God particles. We are trying to pierce the veil that was sealed after the first descent. We are trying to build an artificial Stargate to bring back what was cast out. Mount Hermon acts as the anchor of this global network. Researchers of geographic anomalies note an energy line connecting Hermon to other sites of supernatural activity and high-tech laboratories. When we activate quantum computers, machines that, according to their own creators, summon entities from other realities, we are, in fact, resonating with Hermon's original frequency. We are giving the Watchers the digital address for their return. Image: animation showing Mount Hermon emitting a light signal received by satellites and redirected to major tech centers. What the Watchers of the UN at the mountain summit know, and what the Vatican monitors through its telescope, is that the portal is becoming unstable. The return of the Watchers will not be presented as an invasion, but as a scientific or alien event. They will say our creators have returned to save us. But the Book of Enoch is clear. The knowledge they bring is a poison that corrupts our humanity. They do not come to help us evolve. They come to retake possession of their ancient base of operations. The ritual of return is the final convergence between ancient magic and modern science. The Hermon Stargate is being powered by a humanity addicted to the forbidden knowledge of the Watchers. Every time we merge our biology with technology, we become more compatible with the portal's frequency. The mountain is vibrating. The code is being compiled. And the door that was closed millennia ago is about to be thrown open, not by divine hands, but by our own fingers, stubbornly reaching for the switch of the abyss. For every rebellion, there is a verdict. Mount Hermon may be the Stargate of the Watchers, the base of operations from which they dictated the rules to a fallen humanity. But the Forbidden Bible reveals that the mountain's authority has an expiration date. While the modern world looks to Hermon's summit for aliens or scientific breakthroughs, Enoch's prophecies point to an event known as the visitation of the Ancient of Days. Image: cinematic view of Mount Hermon's summit, being struck by a column of pure white light, making modern tech facilities look like ash. Enoch describes the judgment of the 200 Watchers with breathtaking precision. They were not just cast out. They were sealed under the rocks and depths of the earth, awaiting the day of great judgment. However, the mystery of Mount Hermon lies in the fact that the place of the fall is also the place of the judgment. When Jesus took his disciples to Caesarea Philippi, located precisely at the base of Mount Hermon, and declared that the gates of hell shall not prevail, he was launching a direct challenge to the entities that descended there. He wasn't speaking of a metaphorical hell. He was pointing to the mountain that served as the portal. The final war for dominion over the earth will not be won with nuclear weapons or quantum computers. The secret the Vatican and the scientific elite hide is that the original blueprint of creation has a frequency that the Watcher system cannot replicate. Mount Hermon is the throne of an imposter king, but the coming of the Son of Man represents the biological and spiritual reconquest of this ground. The technology the UN and CERN try to use to keep the portal open will be disintegrated by the simple presence of uncreated light. Image: a DNA helix being washed by golden light, clearing black circuits and electronic interference. The Ancient of Days versus the Mountain of the Oath is the battle between the eternal and the temporary. The Watchers promised each other they would not turn back from their crime, but the Creator promised that humanity would be rescued. This chapter of our investigation shows that although the Hermon portal is being reactivated in our days, it is being reactivated only for its final judgment. Those who align with the mountain's frequency, through transhumanism and the acceptance of forbidden knowledge, will be sealed with it. The true question the secret of Mount Hermon poses to us is, to whom does your DNA belong? Does it belong to the Creator's original lineage or the mountain's hybrid lineage? The Stargate may open, the Watchers may manifest, and science may claim victory. But when the Ancient of Days touches the summit of Hermon, all that is artificial, all that is hybrid, and all that is rebellious will be erased from the memory of existence. The mountain will return to being just stone, and the portal will be closed forever, not by a human lock, but by the glory of Him who is, who was, and who is to come. We have reached the end of our climb. The secret of Mount Hermon is no longer a shadow in the archives of the Vatican or a whisper in the halls of the UN. It is a reality that is manifesting before our very eyes. The Stargate is humming, the watchers on the peak are waiting, and the world is being prepared for the great return. But as we close this investigation of the forbidden Bible, we must look beyond the physical summit and into the state of our own souls. The Watcher's legacy was never just about giants or ancient ruins. It was about the forbidden wisdom, the idea that we could be like gods through our own efforts, our own technology, and our own rebellion. Mount Hermon is the ultimate symbol of human and celestial pride. It is the altar of a pact that sought to rewrite the human story without the Creator. But as we have seen, every brick of that tower is destined to fall. The final verdict is that the portal of Hermon is a trap. It offers power, but demands your humanity. It offers knowledge, but steals your peace. The elite monitor the mountain because they have placed their bets on the return of the old gods. But for those who are awake, the mountain serves as a warning. It reminds us that the days of Noah are not a myth from a children's book. They are the blueprint for our current crisis. As the world's attention is drawn to the geopolitical conflicts of the Golan Heights, remember what is truly at stake. The ground beneath those UN boots is cursed by an ancient oath, but the sky above it is governed by an eternal decree. The Stargate will not save those who enter it. Only the pure seed, the original design of the Creator, will survive the coming visitation. The secret of Mount Hermon has been revealed. The 33rd degree has been exposed. The watchers are standing at the door, but the king is already at the gate. Choose your mountain. Choose your frequency. The climb is over, but the war for your soul has just reached its peak. This is the forbidden Bible. Stay awake. The truth is no longer hidden.